Miss Grant.
Hello.
So the guidance department really starts, I would think, full throttle with the juniors on the college admissions process in the spring. So one of the major things that we first do is create a junior podcast, which goes through the entire college admissions and selection process that students are encouraged to review with their parents on their own. And this really helps prepare them for their hour-long meeting with their school counselor to review in depth the college application process. Additionally, to review, their specific, where they are in the process and their specific goals for colleges and for their career. So other things that are going on junior year that I really encourage students to take advantage of are college admission rep visits. You can really learn so much from meeting with the reps about the process and then also about the specific schools. So those meetings have been occurring all fall. You can register to attend those meetings through Naviance. But I would like to go back to also the hour-long meetings that we have with all the students. It really, the meetings are much more productive if the students come prepared to those meetings. So if they review the podcast prior to the meeting, they're going to have a fundamental understanding of the process. And then we can really sort of dig deep into what their goals are and really try and tailor what they should be doing over the course of the next couple of months to prepare for their college applications. So for seniors, I think there's so many resources. So again, we have another podcast presentation that walks seniors through all of the sort of nuts and bolts of the college admissions process. We also have a host of resources online, so students can access them at any time. Things that step-by-step, how to use Naviance, step-by-step, how to complete your applications. And additionally, I really try and stress with my students, during their junior conference, that I really have an open door policy, that my door is always open, that I am happy to meet with a student every single day of their senior year. And I do have students who sort of take me up on that, who meet with me on a close to daily basis, or students that check in on a weekly basis, or students that I see more sporadically. But again, I encourage students to sort of take that responsibility and know that if they do need help their senior year, that they're going to need to access those resources to come and make an appointment with their school counselor. So, and I really enjoy the relationships that I forge with students, during their senior year and meeting with them extensively. So, counselors, I think those individual meetings are really crucial. Additionally, we have other resources. We have a bi-monthly newsletter that goes out to all students. This really does provide information for 9th through 12th grade students, but I think a lot of it does focus on, at least this time of year, seniors and their college application process. We've been doing lunch and learns this fall. So that's where during lunchtime a school counselor will be in one of the computer rooms and will help groups of students with questions they have. For a student that might be a little bit more uncomfortable meeting with their counselor individually, they can go with a group of their friends during lunch and meet with maybe one of the other counselors, not necessarily their own counselor, and have their questions answered at that point. So I think that's it. And one other thing I would like to share is that if juniors or seniors have any suggestions of ways they feel the guidance department can be more supportive, we're certainly open to any feedback or suggestions. We're here for you guys. So if there's something that you think that we could be doing additionally, stop in, talk to your counselor, talk to myself, talk to Mrs. Verlato, and we'd be happy to, try and, change our program to better suit.
What you got? 'Cause when they own the information,
question, because I do think our students and students across the country, struggle with stress. That's probably one of the biggest issues in their lives, especially surrounding the college admissions process. I do hope and I do feel that if students really utilize the resources that we provide to them, it does help alleviate stress. But I think one of the most important things for students is to have that connection with their counselor, to be checking in with them, to have that person who can help them process how they're feeling, and give them suggestions of how they can manage it, things they could do differently. friendly. And I know for me as a counselor too, stress is something that I'm always sort of assessing with my students. I'm always trying to ask questions to understand where they are, on that stress scale. Because I think that I think it needs to always be at the forefront of our discussions too.
Yeah.
I think it's really important. Wellness in general is really important for our students. So, do I think that the school counseling helps alleviate stress? I know that we try to. I know that we put a lot of things in place to do that. I know it's something really important to me personally, but I think you'd have to ask your classmates more, too, to see what their actual experience has been. But, and I know it's something that we're trying to do more things. Ms. Lustig is doing a meditation group, so we're trying to supplement our programming to specifically in terms of stress to offer more, opportunities for students to work through those issues. So, and again, I really encourage any student that is feeling really stressed, to please reach out because chronic stress is not a good thing to be dealing with, and it's really has a lot of negative effects, obviously health effects in your life. So reach out and know you're not alone, that we all go through it, but there are things that we all can do to help manage that. So
all right, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
With the world and those who lead it, we just feel
Hi, I'm here with Miss Newman.
and feed it, so we keep waiting.
Mostly I deal mostly with the seniors and the juniors. The seniors getting their transcripts out and whatever. Last year I sent transcripts and letters and recommendations to 1,125 schools.
Wow.
So that's a lot of stuff to get out and whatever. So I see the seniors when they're starting out and they're so nervous, and then in March they come back and they've gotten into all these great schools and it's so exciting. I help Ms. Green with Instant Decision Day, getting a lot of different schools come here and the kids can learn right on the spot if they've gotten into colleges. Scholarships, that is huge. I deal with probably 60 or 70 different organizations who offer scholarships. I help them, create the scholarships. I put it up on Naviance and help the kids get their applications in. Senior Awards Night is huge. That's my biggest thing that I have to deal with. Usually we give out probably about $125,000 in scholarships every year, so that's really exciting. I always say that I think being a mother has helped me do my job because I understand the kids are, nervous and excited and everything all at once, and sometimes you just have to be here to listen and to help them get through this whole process, which is very nerve-wracking for parents and students, but I do love what I do.
Good. Thank you so much.
For the freshmen, we have an orientation in January of their 8th grade year for the parents. Admittedly, that's not directly servicing the students, but the parents come home with a lot of information. They get to ask a lot of questions and see the building. The parents sometimes are more nervous than the students are, so it's good that the parents are able to see where their children will be going to school. We give different presentations regarding academics and policies. The sports coaches are set up in the gym, and they can meet with them if they want to. Mr. Lynch is here to talk about the band. Lots of clubs get represented down in the gym, so the parents can meet with them and ask questions as well. They can take a tour of the building, and it usually ends up to be a pretty good night when they come up. I think that they learn a lot. It probably produces more questions too. Hopefully it makes them less anxious, not more anxious. We also visit the middle school in January, the entire guidance department. Different years we do different things. One of the things that we've done in the past is the 8th grade students get to submit questions about the high school. And we pick out the most common questions, the ones that it seems lots of students want to know the answer to. And we also, some of the questions only one student will ask it, but it's such a good question. The one question we had one year, I remember, was a student actually had the guts to ask, what exactly is an honors class?
Oh, that was good though.
It was fabulous. That was the best question we had all day. And it was probably, he was the only one with the guts to ask it. The other students probably were too afraid to ask. Some of them probably knew, but a lot of them probably didn't.
Yeah.
Mrs. Lustig comes down with the peer leaders, and the kids are allowed to ask them questions, and they try and make the kids feel better about coming up. We're always telling them what a great place it is up here. Of course, they don't believe that until they get here, but we try and convey that to them at the assembly. We also see them again for scheduling. The appointments are short, but they're individual with the students and their parents if they want to come. And we just double check where they're being placed as far as academics, and then go through the scheduling process, how to sign up for classes online, making sure that they understand the directions. Sometimes they ask about which electives are best, and usually the answer is the ones that you like are the ones that are the best. Pick what you want. But I usually have to tell them at some point that chances are good they're not going to get their first choice. But it's still a one-on-one meeting, so it's nice. It's nice that they at least get to see my face. And all the counselors do this with all their students. Once they get to the high school, Mrs. Lustig has the peer leadership program where I think there's juniors and seniors in there now. Back in the day, I think it was just seniors, right? And she meets with them and tries to help bond with them. And then Mr. Gabachek and Mr. Sisa do tours of the building in the summer so that they can look around and see where their classrooms are and get a feel for the building. It doesn't really seem to matter that the building is smaller and easier than HBW. It's a new place.
Yeah.
I still get lost at HBW, and I'm sure the freshmen get lost here, but it's definitely an easier building.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that till probably the third week of school at least.
Yeah,
In
for
freshman year. For the sophomores, we kind of just double check with the sophomores on grades and things like that. Some years they take the PSAT. It varies from year to year. I think they did this year. And the testing's good. The testing's good. At least it gets them thinking about that they're going to have to think about the future.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it now, but I'm going to have to think about it in the future. For the most part, the best thing sophomores can do is really solidify where they are as far as classes. Freshman year was an adjustment year. Now sophomore year is time to really pound on the grades and see if an honors class or an AP class might be something they can handle junior year. I hope so. That's part of our job. We've talked about different programs, adding this or taking away that. I mean, each year we review each one of the things that we do and say, well, that didn't happen last year. Let's try it again next year. Or this didn't go over really well. This wasn't helpful. Or, the students weren't really able to relate to that slide on the PowerPoint presentation. Let's redo that and see if they can understand it better.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
To change, we keep on waiting.
Hi, I'm Gianna Melchion here at Miss Ferlato. Hi, everyone.
It's hard to be persistent when we're standing at a
I think the school counseling department is essential because we're really here to support and advocate for our students. And I think everybody needs someone to support them and advocate for them, someone where they feel they can come and feel safe and work through any issues or concerns that they might have. We really work hard to give students skills they need as they enter their journey for independence. Regardless of what students are doing after graduation, whether they have a job or they're going to a 4-year college or a 2-year college, they're going to be on their own. And we want to make sure that they have those skills to be able to do that. So we help with time management skills, study skills, conflict resolution skills. In addition to, of course, any of the academic concerns that come up, we talk about college and careers and all of those kinds of things. So when students leave here, they really have a good toolbox of skills to use in society. We also provide, if students are having social and emotional issues that are more than we can handle here in the building, we provide referrals and resources for them to go outside and get help that they might need.
Many people know that I have a caseload of students, so in addition to all of my administrative responsibilities, I do have a caseload of about 150 students. So with those students, I do all the same things that the other school counselors do. We talk about academics and grades and any social emotional kind of issues, college, career, letters of recommendation, transcripts, all of that kind of stuff. Aside from the caseload and the normal counseling kind of things, I work on creating the master schedule for classes for the following year. I'm in charge of testing, so organizing the APs, the PSATs, HESPA. When we had HESPA, I'll be playing a role in the new PARCC tests that are coming up. So that certainly keeps me busy. I also observe and evaluate teachers and counselors. So I'm in charge of the counselors in the department, so I make sure everybody is doing what they need to do. But I also observe teachers in other buildings, so I'm not always here in the office. Professional development, a lot of times we have half days or days off for teacher professional development. I'm really responsible for providing my staff with professional development that they will find relevant to their jobs, and in turn will help students meet the needs of their students as well. Of course, crisis management, anytime there's an emergency, an issue that comes up, I'm usually pulled in, and really whatever else just happens to come up. If there's a major student issue or a parent or concern, I'm pulled into a lot of those types of things as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.